Everyone, we got a new lifter on guided programming, and she asked for some video review slash form check stuff. Um, Clearly a Scottish lifter, and she's really talented, getting ready to um, break some Scottish records. Looks like she's already broken some, so um, got a lot in store for her in the next couple training cycles, and if as you're watching this, really wish you the best of luck in this training. Make sure to keep me posted. Let me know if your progress isn't where it needs to be, and we'll make sure to find a way to sort that out. And as a way to make sure that we get started off on the right foot, we're going to do some video review. So starting off, looking at some of your squats. So let's go ahead and watch this squat and see where we end up here. That was all right in my opinion. I mean, there's definitely some knee stability issues going on, and you seem to be fairly tall for your weight class, maybe. So that maybe is what's causing you to adopt such a wide stance. But yeah, I don't think I would change your stance width, but there's just some knee stability issues going on. I don't think that's something that really needs a lot of direct change. It is something that needs to be improved. I think in your program currently, you shouldn't have a problem with that. We're not going to be pushing your weights this heavy, so hopefully your knee stability and what I'm referring to is that wobble that you see on the eccentric. So in your normal training, that shouldn't be an issue. And then as you continue to practice and develop as a lifter, it should become less and less of an issue with heavy weights as well. We also will have assistance work. It's already built into your program that's going to help you with this development. So it's not necessarily something that you need to actively change anything to fix. It's just that you need to just keep working on good technique in your training, and you need to make sure that you're doing all the training so that the right muscles gain the right amount of strength. But otherwise, not a bad looking squat at all. I don't see any major errors that we need to, totally hit the brakes over. So I want to bring up this. This is a training squat that you sent to me. This was the week after the competition. Which this is heavier than the competition lift, and we also don't see that knee instability. It is a better angle though. Something that we can see from this one is that your balance is very forward. It's very much on your toes. I don't see a lot that I want you to actively change. I just want you to lift weights and get strong. You're going to feel it out. You're going to feel out subtle differences, like, when I do this, the weight moves a little bit better. It's a little bit easier. Explore those things, figure that stuff out, because you're meeting like all the basics of technique. You're getting that stuff down. So what you need to do from here is to just kind of hone in on your individual technique. To give you an example, the pressure breathing that I do in the deadlift is an example of that. It's something that I do. It's not something that everybody needs to do. It's not even something I necessarily recommend, but it's something that helps me get tight. You have to just spend some time with the barbell and explore, and you'll find little things like that they don't make an enormous difference in most cases, but they help. With that said, yeah, again, I don't see anything that I really want you to change here. It would be good to see maybe some reps without a spotter, because I'm not sure how your lower back is doing. If your lower back is flat or neutral or rounded, it looks like you could be neutral, but then again, maybe not. It's not entirely clear. So if you have another video where that is more clearly visible, let me know. But otherwise, I'm fine with your squat how it is. Bench press, this is your second bench press, the heaviest completed bench press that you had in this competition. So let's take a look at this one. It's not really easy to see much technically from this video. I mean, you clearly have a wide grip. That's not a problem. That's in fact good if you can manage that. It looks like you have somewhat of an arch. You're at least attempting an arch, which is also good. That's something I want you to do. You're drifting the bar back toward your face, which is the other big technical thing. A lot of people try to push it back up in a straight line, and you have to drift it back to push a maximum weight. So you're covering all your bases. I don't see anything else in this video. If you had another video that's maybe more stable and directly from the side, that would be helpful. And if you don't have that right now, then don't worry. There will be plenty of opportunity to get that as the program progresses. So let's take a look at your deadlift. This is something that's pretty interesting to me. So you've got a little bit of hip rise in your deadlift, and to me it looks like you could be just a bit tighter. And everybody could be a bit tighter. It's not something that's ever good enough. You also sent me this 130 kilo deadlift from training. This was about 2 weeks prior to the competition, if I remember correctly. This is a much more telling video to look at, to be honest. So let me... Alright, we do see a little bit of back rounding in your deadlift. It's hard to tell how much. If in the future, if you could get more from the side, it would be easier to tell how much back rounding there is. And it'll be up to you to decide how much is acceptable. We've talked before in guided programming calls that having a round back in the deadlift is an additional risk. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get hurt, and just like staying flat is not a guarantee that you're going to be safe. But being round back in the deadlift is more risky, and you need to know that and be aware of that as you're coming into this. Also, I can see that your knees tend to buckle just a little bit under the load. But I didn't notice that with the lighter weights, so I don't think that's something that you're doing wrong. I think that's just something that's just a product of lifting heavier weights. We see technical breakdowns and stuff like that. So in your training, make sure that you're doing it how you know how to do it, and that shouldn't be a problem either. In terms of weak range of motion, you're kind of back, which is a little bit unusual. I mean, I can see that it takes a little bit to build up the tension to get the bar off the floor, but then because of the round back, there's a little bit of slowness at the lockout too. So I wouldn't change anything about the program that you're getting right now. I would just continue to run it as is, and we will modify it as necessary, as we go forward. if a weak range of motion becomes more clear that it needs some attention. But for right now, I think a balanced approach is going to be just fine for you. I think the work that we have planned is going to work out just fine. Again, and this is kind of a theme that you'll see with a lot of people who send in near maximum videos to me. They've got the technical basics down. They maybe need to find some of these like little technical points, like the next level master's degree technical points that are going to help them hit the next level. But that's a very individualized thing, and it takes a long time. It's not very predictable either. So you just need to keep lifting weights and keep focusing on getting really strong. The backgrounding thing is the only thing that does concern me a bit. We can talk about how to get tight in the deadlift. And maybe we'll have Mark Robb on one of these calls, and he can shed some light on it because he's really, really good at it. I think if you get tighter, it'll be easier for you to keep your back straight, and we'll see some of your mechanics improve. Now, one last thing that I wanted to touch on just here real briefly. You mentioned that, here you hit 130 in training, and then 2 weeks later you were unable to hit it in the competition. You told me a little bit about your peaking strategy for the competition. I just want you to know that that's not how I plan peaking. What you can expect in this program is that you'll continue to train heavy up until about 7 days out from the meet. And then 4 to 5 days out from the meet, you'll take your openers, or actually 5 to 6 days out from the meet, you'll take your openers. And then 3 to 4 days out, you will go through your warm-ups, which will be up to about 85% or so. The volume clearly gets reduced a lot, especially during that last week, but you continue to get exposed to heavy weights because you need that exposure to heavy weights to maintain your edge. So that's something that you can expect in this program as we go forward. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. If you have any more specific questions that you want me to answer, feel free to send those in as well.